Person 1, a classic. Ha ha, isn't that something? We'll never know if it's good unless we taste it. Wow, the texture is, look at my que voyages, friends. Que voyage, Florence. Paris, yes, hello, wow. Honestly, I really wasn't expecting that at all. He paid my bill, that was a nice surprise. 안녕하세요, friends, I hope you're doing well. New day, new adventure, new vlog, but above all, a new city in this road trip in South Korea. Because I just got to Yeosu, let me give you a very quick rundown. So, this morning, I left Busan. I finally decided to leave, even though I know I haven't seen or done everything. Busan is a big city, there are so many things to see and do. But we still got a really nice overview of the city during these few days in Busan. And besides, it was a good idea for me to leave the city. Because today it started to rain and I realized that I'm really lucky. Still, since I started this trip between Japan and Korea, I haven't had many rainy days, right? Honestly, I must have had maybe 2 or 3. At most really, not more. It wasn't very complicated to get here. I took a bus from the Busan bus station, so why did I take a bus? Because I realized actually that there was no train connection between the two cities. So I checked a bit on the internet and I didn't find any train connecting the two cities, so I took a simple bus, easy, efficient and cheap. The bus cost me 23,600 won, which is about 16 euros. We are about 140 kilometers from Busan. It took us a little less than 3 hours by bus, so we left at 10:30 and arrived at 13:15. Buses in South Korea are super comfortable. There's really a lot of legroom and so on. Plus, it's safe. The driver kindly asks you to put on your seatbelt and everything. It's funny because I was thinking back to some moments I experienced recently on other trips, like shared taxis on the road. For example, the ones I took in Senegal where, really? So I felt, well, I don't mean that in a bad way, I'm not trying to criticize, but I really didn't feel safe at all in some taxis, where really it was just on the road. And then you really feel the difference compared to South Korea, where it's super safe, clean and everything anyway. So yeah, but that's also the magic of traveling, being able to just, switch countries and adapt easily. Feeling good everywhere is part of being a global citizen and discovering new countries and cultures. Enough talking, I just arrived at a hotel called Backpackers in Yeosu. I didn't stress about finding it, I just quickly checked booking on the bus, saw that there was still availability and that they had private rooms because they also have dorms. And the advantage is that by just showing up in person, I obviously paid less than if I had booked on Booking, plus the sweet old lady at the reception is really nice. The traditional little grandma, or rather granny, it's true that people don't really say mei anymore, but the traditional Korean granny at the reception, she's really friendly. I told her I was staying 2 nights, so she gave me a little discount. Instead of paying 40,000 won, I'm paying 35,000 won, which is about 24 euros. And guess what? I just checked. The room on Booking is 29 euros. And as they say, every little bit counts when you're traveling, because honestly, saving about 4 or 5 euros per night over 2 nights, that's about 10 euros. And I can tell you that here, with 10 euros, you can do a lot, That's almost 2 restaurant meals here in South Korea, Enough talking, it's already 2:12 p.m. I just put my stuff down, I'll give you a quick room tour, and then we'll go explore the city of Yeosu. We're in the south of Korea, By the way, if you were wondering, it's a bit cloudy today, but it doesn't look like it's going to rain here, so that's nice. Let's not waste any time, let's go. We're on the 3rd floor of the Backpackers in Yeosu Hostel, so that's great, because there's a water dispenser. So, to refill my water bottle directly on my floor, I don't need to go down to the reception. There are some nice little plants, and I'm staying in room 305. It's a card, I don't have a code, I just swipe my card, it opens the door, and then poof, there's no electricity. You're starting to get used to these Korean rooms where you take off your shoes. So here's my little makeshift spot. For the next 2 nights, I've got everything I need, even a coat rack. There you go, a nice little desk, a single bed, a TV. I just realized that it's actually pretty big. For the size of the room, it's rare to have such a big TV. Air conditioning can be hot or cold, but I don't need it here since the room is comfortable. Also, some hotels have floor heating, so be careful if you have electronic devices. That happened to me in Gyeongju. I had put some fruit on the floor, they were bananas actually, and the next day they were completely ripe. Small fridge. And here a very nice view of the mountains of Yeosu. And that's actually where the bus dropped me off. Not the bus I took for the long distance Busan to Yeosu trip, but the second bus I took from the bus station. So to get to the city center, by the way, it didn't take me long. It took me about, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes at most. And then, you see, in Korean rooms, you always really have all the comforts. Like, they give you a hairdryer. So when I came in, it smelled really good in the room. Really, wow. And I felt good there right away. There you go. Bathroom, shower, toilet. There you go. We have the basics and we're very comfortable. Well, now you know Korean rooms and Japanese rooms too. Whether it's in the smallest hotel or the cheapest hostel, you'll always find shampoo, conditioner, and shower gel. So, I'm also going to show you the inside of the hostel. So this is Backpackers in Yeosu. What I really like is that actually, look, isn't it nice, all these plants and everything? Doesn't it make you want to come in, stay here, and have a little coffee? And by the way, speaking of coffee, I realized that across the street there's the Backpackers pub and cafe. There you go, it's the same thing, it belongs to them, so there's a cafe, pub, and so on. So if you want to have a little coffee, a little tea, or even play darts, since I see there are machines there for playing darts. So yeah, or maybe a little beer in the evening, before dinner, a little drink, something, a pick-me-up, a soda. So here, I'm also giving you a quick little tour of the hostel, Backpackers in Yeosu. The lady's gone. She was here earlier, and she was very nice. And those little figurines are so cute. Iron Man is missing a little arm. He lost it, and we have our Sangoku. So, it's a hostel, and the advantage is that there are all the utensils you need to cook. If, for example, you're traveling on a budget, you're being careful, you don't want to eat at a restaurant every day, or even if you have dietary restrictions and you don't want to eat certain things at a restaurant, etc. Well, there you go. You have a very nice little kitchen. There's everything you need. You can cook. And on top of that, you can also refill your water bottle. So I don't think breakfast is included. I don't remember seeing that on booking when I was checking earlier, but maybe it'll be a surprise. There's also a washing machine, but this time it's not free. You have to pay for it. But usually it's not very expensive and it's really convenient to have washing machines. What is this? PC and PlayStation? Okay, so obviously it's a luggage storage area, so it's for putting your suitcase. When you check in or check out, if the room isn't ready, yes, okay, got it, there's a key. Well, it's number 3, but it's still not bad. Which game did they stick with? No, that's a movie. Inception, yes, we're on FIFA 16, but yes, I still play as Barcelona. To the very kind lady, thank you, she is really nice, really very, very nice. Well, here we are. This is where we're going to start our exploration of today's spot. Not of Backpacker in Yeosu, but of the pub. Alright, let's go. It's going to be a totally go with the flow day, since it's already 2:20 p.m. now. I haven't planned anything. We'll explore the city together at a relaxed pace. No stress. For now, that's fine. For once, I'm not very hungry since I ate earlier. To be honest, I bought a couple of snacks on the bus earlier. Thanks to our friends at the convenience stores who help us out, really, the convenience stores are a lifesaver. Even though, I have to admit, the convenience stores in South Korea, let's be honest, they're not as good as the convenience stores in Japan. You know, there's so much more variety in the Japanese convenience stores, but they're still super helpful. I know that recently there was a little rivalry between the French-speaking YouTubers living in Japan and those living in South Korea. Well, I don't live in either country. But I have the advantage of having traveled in Japan for almost a month and a half, and now we'll spend almost a month in Korea. So, I've seen a bit of the positives and negatives. As a traveler, I repeat, I don't live as an expat in these countries. But the konbini, for example, are better in Japan. When it comes to food, it's about the same. In terms of prices in both countries, you can eat very well and for cheap in restaurants, and the portions are quite generous. On the other hand, something I appreciate much more in South Korea than in Japan is that you can find a lot more reasonably priced places when you're a solo traveler, without necessarily staying in dormitories all the time. So, you see, since the beginning of this trip, I've always found reasonably priced places, around 20 to 25 euros. That's it, with my little quiet space, I don't ask for much. A small room, a bed, a shower, that's all. I don't care about having a TV, a hairdryer, all that stuff, I don't mind. Well, if you have it, it's always a little bonus, whereas in Japan it was a bit more complicated and I stayed in quite a few capsule hotels. When I was traveling like that day by day, honestly, it was very pleasant. Now it's starting to rain all of a sudden. It's okay. Very light. So I noticed that this chain is pretty well established. In South Korea, Paris Baguette is the equivalent, a little bit, let's say, roughly speaking, like a chain in France that offers bread, sandwiches, cakes, and so on. Anyway, in general, abroad, I've noticed something. As soon as something is a bit related to France, people like it, it feels a bit fancy. Paris, yeah, Paris. Well, there you go. I'm heading towards the sea. Let's go see what's over there. And also something I wanted to add about what I just told you regarding hotels in Korea. Not only are the prices much more affordable, I think, than in Japan, especially when you're traveling alone. I should mention, if you're traveling as a pair in Japan, it's fine. With 50 or 60 euros, you can find rooms, so it comes down to 25 or 30 each. But at the last minute, when you're alone, it's always a bit more complicated in Japan if you don't necessarily want to stay in a dormitory. And what I wanted to say is that here in Korea too, well, you can easily find motels. There are really a lot of them. Sometimes you just have to open your eyes and you'll see it says motel. You just have to go inside and ask for the price, and that's it. Simple as that. It's super simple. It smells good. I was thinking it smells like bread here. Well, yeah, there's brioche. It smells so good. This isn't Paris Baguette. Street food indoors. It's starting to make me hungry. I ate on the bus, but now I'm getting hungry again. Well, that was already 2 hours ago. It's fine. On the other hand, it seems like a pretty quiet town. You see, there aren't many people. So, it's a small town, huh? And I also thought about that when I arrived at my hostel, you know? It works as both. Well, it's just that I didn't actually run into anyone. No clients, no tourists, it's called backpacker. And I didn't see any backpackers, any travelers. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just not the season either. It's the middle of winter, it's cold. It's fine here in this part of South Korea, the weather is nice. I haven't needed my gloves since leaving Seoul, and I don't need my hat now. It feels great. Yes, we won't get run over. Not now, not like this. We're in Seoul. Not after all we've done, Ben & Co. Not you. A church. So I also noticed something I didn't know before, you know, but we're traveling to learn. A lot of Koreans are Christians. I thought it was a bit like in Japan, you know. That is, that they were either Buddhists or Shintoists. By the way, I haven't seen any shrines here, you know. I've only seen temples. So there are Buddhists, Christians, and there you go. So that's why in South Korea you come across quite a few churches when you're walking around. Well, look, since I'm talking about churches, here's another one. You see one right there and one here. It's great because actually we're at the entrance of a little mural village. It's called Angel Mural Village. I just saw it on Google. I love how peaceful it is when it's quiet and you can hear the birds. There you go. I feel like this is a neighborhood with lots of murals that probably represent a part of Korea's history. Can you hear this silence? That crow song, thank you for delighting our ears. It's so pleasant. No one? It feels so good, so I thought I had actually arrived at the entrance of a temple, but not at all. It kind of looks like the entrance to a temple. But actually, it's a house where Admiral Yi Sun-sin published his operational plans and gave his orders during the Japanese invasions of Korea. There you go. So, it's a historical site. So, I didn't make it up, I read it. It's actually written at the entrance of the site. There you go. Of course, I don't know the history of Korea. I'm learning alongside you, gaining a bit more each day. Just now, I met a nice Korean person you can see in front of me. Very nice. I spent at least 20 minutes chatting with him at the entrance. He's actually really nice. He's originally from here. And I was telling him, yeah, this city is nice. He told me, yes, it's pleasant, it's calm and everything. I told him, well, I was just in Busan before and it's different, you know. Well, Busan is the second biggest city in the country. And now here we are in a really small town, Hamsunida. Thank you very much. He's really nice. So here we have small stillies bearing the Admiral's likeness. And by the way, he's originally from here, so I asked him, "What are you doing?" He told me, "Well, it's my day off. I'm just taking a peaceful walk." That's it. Quite simply. And he's absolutely right to enjoy his city. Even if it's raining, it's still very pleasant. It's fine, it's just a little drizzle. We're not at the tornado stage yet. These little alleys around here are nice. The place where we just were, the Admiral's little pavilion. I feel like I'm going back a little to coucou, c'est moi. I'm really in Korea. Look, here's the proof. At Gamcheon village in Busan, little alleys like this, very pretty, colorful. Look, it's going uphill. Let's go see what's up there. Maybe we'll get a nice view from the top. Yeah, it's nice here with all these little murals. I haven't seen any Little Prince murals yet. It was very popular in Busan, I don't know why. They were everywhere, little statues or Little Prince murals. But here I haven't seen any yet. Look at this view, isn't it nice? It's so peaceful. I know I keep saying it, but it feels great. So here I see there's a bridge that obviously connects one part of the city to the other, kind of like in Busan. This bridge is smaller than the one in Busan. We'll have to see if it's lit up at night, though I wouldn't be surprised. I see a kind of small island there in the middle, right here like a little turd, sitting in the middle. And then I see the fishing port across from it. There you go. So here, we are definitely in Yeosu, surrounded by mountains. It's very nice. I didn't expect it to be this colorful. Wait, did I just find the most stylish barber in South Korea? Look at that. Barber with a view. So I feel like the terrace is closed. And well, I think we're at someone's place. You don't just walk into someone's place like that, but wow, here in the summer, it must be really nice. Picture someone cutting your hair outside just like that. That would be so cool. So, as you probably figured out, and I think you saw it, it's raining. So, don't blame me if sometimes from time to time there's a little drop on the lens. I'm trying to be careful, but I just realized right now that I filmed this scene where there was a little drop and it made things a bit blurry. Sorry. And also, I don't like to redo my scenes. 50 times I like it when things stay natural and spontaneous. Sometimes I reshoot things, like everyone else, when I'm really tired and so on. That's what you don't see. It's a bit of what goes on behind the scenes. Oh, it looks nice over there. Let's go that way. It happens, but otherwise I don't like to do retakes. I think it ruins it. Repeating a scene breaks the natural feel. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Be nice. Interact with me. It seems like people here in Yeosu like plants too. Just like at my hostel. There were lots and lots of plants out front, and when I arrived, well, there was the lady who was watering the plants, so I'm not sure they needed it today. Maybe she was just watering them, for example. Maybe she was just taking care of them. It seemed to me from a distance that she was just watering them. It kind of looks like decorations to me, like something you'd see in a kindergarten. I wouldn't be surprised if someone told me that, for example, behind these walls, it's a kindergarten or a primary school. It's really nice anyway, very, very colorful, and right now there's nobody here. Compared to Gamcheon to Niaseo, I also get the feeling that people really love music in South Korea, especially the guitar. That reminds me, when I was in Seoul on my first day, I met a nice gentleman who took me to the second floor of a small shopping center. And then there were guitars everywhere, everywhere, everywhere. Musical instruments, but especially a lot of guitars. These little alleys are really beautiful. Look at all this. A little cafe like that. It's so cute. Look, I think it's a little cafe with cats. And what I've noticed here is that there are lots of cafes and restaurants with terraces like this. Well, today isn't the day, as you can see, and they've completely closed them off. But yeah, there are lots of, well, I don't know what that is. Maybe there was a cafe or a restaurant, but now I don't think there's anything there. But that's what I've been seeing this whole time, actually. Quite a few small cafe terraces. It's really nice with this view. When you come on a day when the weather is nice and you enjoy this charming view, well, it's still pretty awesome. Come on, let's go down and take a look. We'll try to reach maybe the seashore. That one's really beautiful. It looks like a cafe maybe with cats, because I see something like a cat tree. And the little decorations there, they're cats. Cat paws. The neighborhood is pretty nice, honestly, with all these super stylish little murals. Especially that one over there, I really like it. We've got the Korean warrior. This mural is really stylish too, with baseball players. So, speaking of baseball, well, I haven't seen any baseball fields here in Korea while walking around. Yet I've actually traveled quite a bit during these first 2 weeks through several cities, especially Busan and Seoul, which are big cities. And I haven't seen any baseball fields. It doesn't seem like baseball is popular here like it was in Japan. I was pretty surprised, to find out during my trip to Japan that baseball is a very, very popular sport there. All these little murals are really cool, honestly. So, yeah. We're going down, enjoying the murals, and also enjoying this beautiful view. It's true that we've been to a lot of restaurants since we started this adventure. We've tried lots of traditional Korean foods. But if you're traveling on a budget and you're trying to be careful, you can easily eat at convenience stores. For example, this costs 2,800 won, so it's a gimbap. So I've already shown it in previous episodes that I recommend you watch. I'm a little hungry right now, but not very hungry. There are restaurants, but they're really, where you take your time. Fish restaurants and so on, right next to where I am. I don't feel like going to a big restaurant right now. I'm just a bit hungry and want a small snack like gimbap for 2,800 won, which is just under 2 euros. And honestly, you see, you get a nice portion here though. Right, so this is a classic with tuna mayo. There you go, it's kind of like our own sandwiches. Here, they're not really sandwiches. Some are triangle shaped, but that's about it. But instead, they offer their traditional food. Here you go, like tuna mayo sandwiches. Here it's tuna mayo gimbap with some crab and raw veggies. It's perfect. Look, if that's not classy, not only can we sit here in the convenience store, so right now I'm in a GS25, but I also have a view of the sea. Isn't that great? Like I always say, happiness is in the little simple things in life without overthinking. But I won't lie to you, they're really good. They're really good for mass-produced gimbap, And they're well made, they're well filled, yeah, it's alright, but they're not as good as the ones we tried in Gyeongju. In that little restaurant, the one that only made gimbap dead, those were really good. It wasn't the same price though, but it wasn't too much. Right, it feels good. The rain gives us a break. People often say, yeah, but traveling is expensive, and so on. No, honestly, if you know how to watch your budget, if you don't go overboard and so on. Couchsurfing is easy, I've always demonstrated that. Staying at someone's place is great for meeting new people. You can easily cook in youth hostels, you can sleep in dormitories, it's not very expensive. You can easily feed yourself cheaply at convenience stores where you can buy food and cook simple meals. I've already shown you this many times. I've been traveling for more than 10 years, and for 7 or 8 years I've been creating content on YouTube, and at the very beginning of my adventures really, when I was traveling on a very tight budget, that means I wasn't really watching the money I was spending, but since I was traveling for a long time, 5, 6 months, 7 months, I had to be a bit careful, which makes sense. I didn't want to blow everything in the first month. So often I would cook in hostels, especially if you watch my Latin America adventures. I showed you my little budget tricks all the time. I used to buy pasta and vegetables, then make pasta with vegetables and so on. Then I'd put it in a Tupperware container, head out for a day of exploring, sit down somewhere at lunch, eat my little meal, and that made for some really great trips. The most important thing, like I always say, isn't what's on your plate, even if it's cool to discover local specialties, it's the life experiences. You don't care where you're going to sleep, what you're actually going to eat, and so on. The most important thing actually is to be able to step out of your comfort zone to discover the world, meet people, the locals, places, all of that, the culture of the country. That's what's really important when traveling. And as they say, traveling is the only thing you buy that makes you richer. So, I don't know if you remember, but when I was in Gamshan, by the way, I recommend you go watch that episode if you missed it, or watch it again, why not? The nice gentleman who works at the restaurant there, with the great burrito bibimbap concept, gave me this. And I still haven't eaten it, it's been in my pocket for several days now. From what I understand, these are smoked eggs, but I'm not really sure. We're gonna taste this together because I'm really curious about it, honestly. And just now, I asked the nice Korean guy I met earlier up in the hills of the city. I asked him about the eggs I showed him. He said they're just bird eggs from small birds. Very special. Listen, we'll never know if it's good unless we taste it. It has a very rubbery texture. Honestly, at first glance, it looks like a little piece of chocolate. So there you go. Yeah, it's not bad. Honestly, it's not bad at all. Inside, it's actually very soft. I really feel like I'm just eating an egg yolk, plain and simple. It's very intriguing. But honestly, it's not bad at all. And it must be packed with protein, you know. That's my little discovery of the day. Well, I'd like to thank him. I don't know if he'll ever watch this video, especially if he'll understand it, unless by then maybe I'm lucky enough to have an AI on my YouTube channel that lets me put my videos in Korean. It's really nice, these GS25s, the convenience stores where you can just sit down, have your coffee, nice and simple, you know. Buy yourself a little something, sit down and relax, you know. Well, there you go. After this well-deserved little break, we're getting back to our exploration. So, earlier we were up there, up in the hills above Yeosu at the GS25, those little restaurants I was telling you about with fish and seafood. And now, here we are by the seaside. Isn't it just so nice, honestly? And on top of that, I'm glad I stopped. Not only did it do me good, look, that's the little island I was telling you about. The famous little turd in the middle of the water. Well, not only, yes, it did me good to take a little break, but also it's not raining anymore. So, that's nice. That's something I really enjoy a lot too in South Korea, and it's something I also really appreciated in Japan. It's that there are public restrooms everywhere and they're clean. And it's really nice actually when you need to go to the restroom. Well, you can find them everywhere. A nice little walk here along the seaside. The sea breeze. A little bit like in Béjaïa for those who followed the adventures in Algeria. That beautiful walk like that in the city of Béjaïa in Kabylie where you could stroll along the sea and then sit down. There were nice little fish restaurants, that's covered too. It's a very good idea. That means you can come and sit, enjoy yourself peacefully without getting wet. Look, what do I see? A cable car passing over the city of Yeosu. I get the feeling they really like those in South Korea too, huh? Cable cars. It seems like there are some in almost every city. There was one in Busan. In Seoul, I'm not sure. But anyway, there's one here too, and it looks nice. Maybe we'll do it tomorrow. I don't think I'll do it today since it's pretty overcast. So I'm not sure we'll really enjoy the view. I'd rather stay here on the ground than up in the sky. But it could be a really nice thing. And wow, it looks pretty far away. Look at that. To head uphill over there on the other side of the city. The little waterfront is really nice anyway. You see there are arcades, a little cafe, restaurant, 7-Eleven. Of course, we find our friends, the convenience stores. And then look, just what I was telling you a moment ago. We walked, not even 250 meters, and there are already more public restrooms. I saw a little dog wearing its raincoat. We're pretty high up. And it's protected from the rain. Look at the downtown square. Isn't it beautiful? There, we have a nice field, a little soccer field just like that, which also serves as a basketball court. And then, well, the Starbucks right next to it. And then here, there you go, we have a big square. It kind of looks like the place where in the summer, you know, there are street performances, little concerts, cool things like that right here facing the sea. So cool. And then here you see the little street workout area. Nice, right? To come and do a bit of exercise. We were going to take a little dip. No, actually, that's not a beach there. You can't swim on this side. But from what I understand, well, we're by the sea. So obviously not far from here, there are beaches where you can go swimming. This is the fishing port, you see. Look, the fishing boats. It's really nice anyway. Well, because there's a beautiful walk to take. There's a boat called Super Mario. That one doesn't look like a fishing boat, but it's beautiful, you know. I think it really looks great. We really have a beautiful seaside, you know. Well, sure, the weather isn't nice, but I think it gives the city a lot of charm, this slightly gloomy weather, even if it's more pleasant. We all agree it's better to wander around when it's dry, and of course, when it's sunny, even better. But it's okay. It's not unpleasant either, and it's quiet. I swear, I feel super relaxed, you know. Super calm, it really feels good. It's a nice change being in big cities and then in small towns and so on. It feels good, and it also lets you see a bit of local life in towns that might be a little less touristy. So it must definitely be busier during school holidays or when the seasons are a bit better, but I haven't seen any foreign tourists at least. Hey, I already ate. Yeah, it's raining, yeah. Yes, 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 yes. France, Paris, yes, hello, thank you. Oh, yes.
Are you? No, it's okay.
It's not too much, it's not too much. Hamza Hamida. So it's a fish restaurant.
I guess.
Octopus. Seafood, yes.
And you can see it mixed.
Yeah. Whoa, so it's for 3 people?
Yes, my God, no problem.
Wow, and this is
Do you know Jeju-do?
Jeju-do, the island. Very delicious. Jeju-do, the island. Jeju-do, the island. But is it a real color?
Yeah.
No, dear. Yeah, okay. Because of the sun. The sun. Hamza Hamida. She was really nice. The lady who just came up to me about her little restaurant to show me her dishes. So the shrimp were yellow. I didn't understand. But actually, since these are plastic food models, kind of like in Japan, you know, when I told you that in Japan, in the shop windows, you can actually see the dishes you can eat in the restaurant. It's the same in Korea. They've just been in the sun too long. That little lighthouse looks nice. Wow, so beautiful. One thing I really like in Korea, it's very pleasant, and I have to mention it honestly. When something isn't good, well, you can say it in a nice way, but when it's good, you also have to know how to say it nicely. I think that, you know, people here aren't pushy. That is, you know, they invite you to come eat, they show you the dishes, but if you say no, sorry, I've already eaten or I'm not hungry, they don't insist. No problem, she just told me, well, listen, if you want to come back, you'll be welcome. So I thanked her in Korean. And of course, it's always nice to say a few words in the local language. I always say you can't learn a language in a week or 2. Besides, Korean is the complete opposite of our Latin languages. It's not like English or German, where sometimes there are even similar words. And Korean, it's complicated.
Donc,
So, just a little hello in Korean. A little how are you, a little thank you. But it really makes the locals so happy every time. In every country I've been to, I promise you it makes all the difference. A tourist who comes up to you, or rather a traveler, because I consider myself more of a traveler than a tourist, who approaches you with a smile. And on top of that, just a little hello in your own language, bam, it makes all the difference. People are happy then. I was just thinking about something recently, and you can tell me what you think in the comments. I'm really counting on you for your feedback. For 2024, there are some new things I'd like to put in place. The first one is maybe not showing my face in videos anymore. It's not that I don't want to show myself anymore, but I think it feels much more immersive when it's filmed like that. Since I always call you my third eye, well, there you go, you really are my third eye. I think it's nice. Or what would be good is to have a bit of a setup like Gérard Damour at your place, but he has a setup, forget it, it takes up too much space. I'm a minimalist traveler, but having a camera that films both sides would be great. That way when we meet people, we also get their reactions. That's really funny and actually really cool in the end. Otherwise, the second thing I'd really like to set up for 2024, and you can tell me what you think about it. I've actually been thinking about it for several weeks now, even several months. Honestly, I think I've been thinking about it for almost a year. Since the end of Algeria Season 2, I've wanted to set up live streams, travel live streams. Really, you're there, live with me. So obviously when it's daytime here, if you're in Europe, the Maghreb, or maybe somewhere else in the world, it might be nighttime for you. But the advantage is that we can keep replays available. And then live streaming, I find it really powerful. Because in this case, there's no editing, nothing. It's truly natural. It's even more natural than the videos I make now, which are already natural and spontaneous. But with live streaming, it's even more natural and spontaneous, plus it's live. So there you go. I'm really counting on you to tell me what you think in the comments about these suggestions for 2024. What would South Korea be without its street food? I think it just wouldn't be South Korea. That's not possible. Look at this, isn't it just so cool? All these little food stalls by the sea, of course, serve seafood specialties. And yes, it was obvious. It must be really nice, right? I love the little characters. Look. Here, we kind of have a character that almost looks like the guy from Gangnam Style. And then here we have the little traditional Korean grandma. But these places are really nice. It's so beautiful. Honestly, it's so beautiful. I'm really glad I came here. And the rain, you see, you shouldn't celebrate too soon because the rain came back. But now, hold on, we're going to go under the bridge, so we'll be protected, excuse me for a moment. Honestly, I really wasn't expecting this at all. And I'm really glad to be here because it's truly a beautiful little town. I'm excited to take the cable car tomorrow. It must be really nice up there. Look at all of that. And we're going to have a nice walk. Well, outside it started pouring rain, so I took shelter in the best place possible. Might as well make it an arcade. There's nobody here though. But I'm gonna show you something that's pretty fun here in South Korea. It's an arcade. Couldn't be more classic. Video games. There you go. A kind of billiards. Dutch, I think. I believe it's Dutch. I've actually never really known what this shuffleboard game is called. I love it too, and you can find this. But what do you think this is? Well, it's simple. These are booths where you can come and do your little karaoke in peace. That's it. You lock yourself in. Boom. Bye, everyone. And then you can come here with your friends. There are 2 microphones. Boom. And you can do your little karaoke without bothering anyone because, well, you can't hear anything at all. Are you coming for the holidays? I haven't changed my address. I'll be there. I think I'll be here in Yeosu. Well, until tomorrow. I'm testing how soundproof the booth is, but I doubt anyone hears me. Let me love you. It can't stop raining. That's not possible. I said no rain today. Hiti and I got the highest score. It's Kyoki. Keshu. Damn, it was about to crash hard, I beat the score, and then I was the worst. Well, wow, I thought I'd wrap things up pretty quickly for today because I was gonna tell you that with the rain, not much really happened in the end. And also, since I got here early in the afternoon and night falls early, but in the end, haha, guess what? Things actually happened. That is, well, it started pouring rain. So I took shelter in the game room, and then after that, it was complicated to get back. I hadn't taken my poncho, nothing at all, so I took the bus. There you go. The bus stop was a 3-minute walk from the game room, and the bus dropped me off right next to my hostel. Then I settled down for a bit and I told myself I'd go out again to have dinner. I happened to find a little restaurant, a typical Korean place. Well, we're in Korea, of course, but I didn't feel like going to a fast food place or anything like that. I go in and ask if they have bibimbap because, well, the menu is in Korean, so I try to translate it with Google Translate. You use your phone, take a picture, it translates, and so on. And then there's a man who comes up to me and starts talking to me in English, a nice Korean man, and he asks me what I want, and so on. So I say, well, I'd like to have a bibimbap, and he says, yes, they serve bibimbap. I say, okay, I'll have an extra egg with it. So it was a vegetarian bibimbap, and well, I had 2 eggs, protein, ha ha ha, just to get a bit of strength back. Actually, without knowing it, I thought he worked at the restaurant, but no, he was a customer too. And I sat down at his table and we started talking. He was really nice, actually. He was a former sailor. He was a captain on a ship, from what I understood. And he came to France, to Saint-Malo. So he got to see a bit of France through his work back then. When my dish arrived, he told me it was taken care of. I said he shouldn't have, as it made me uncomfortable. He insisted it made him happy. Really nice. He paid my bill. Very kind. It's not about the cost. It's not a lot. It's 7,000 won, a bibimbap. And I mean, it's just the gesture, It's really kind, right? That's why I keep saying every day that really people here in Korea are super nice. They're very friendly. They really like meeting foreigners, talking, and so on. Well, like yesterday with Ben, actually, in Busan, who was really nice, who told me, come on, let's have a coffee. He wanted to invite me for a coffee and everything. So, yeah. So, no, honestly, it was a really good experience. And it didn't stop there, believe it or not, because, well, I thought we would just leave it at that. We would have had a good time, had dinner together, and so on. No, he asked me. Wait, what are you doing next? Are you busy? I knew I had some editing to do, but he said if I wanted, we could go for a walk and he'd show me some of the city's lights. By the way, that's what I was wondering because I knew I was going to get home just a little before nightfall or at dusk. And I wouldn't have seen them tonight, but I would definitely have seen them tomorrow because tomorrow we have a great day of exploration ahead of us. Well, guess what? We didn't go there on foot, right? No, 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 no. We took his awesome Hyundai, beautiful Korean car. Fully loaded, perfect, really nice heated seats. I was super comfortable in it. I'd never seen that before. There's actually a camera on top, so you could see what's happening actually. You could see the car from above, from the front, from the back, from the side. Anyway, we had a nice drive, honestly, a really nice drive. It was great, He showed me the downtown area where we were with the lights, so everything is, perfect, colorful. The bridge is lit up. It's really fantastic. Then he took me over to the marina where all the fishing boats are, etc. He said, look, you see, this is where the boats actually dock. It's sheltered, so if, for example, there's a typhoon or anything like that, the boats are protected, etc. And then he took me to a sort of fish market. That is a big fish market. It was almost 10 o'clock at night. And, well, we could see people working, just doing their jobs, putting fish into big trays and so on. And then, to go back, we took the bridges. He was so, so kind. I really got along with this gentleman. I thanked him so many times for his kindness. It's crazy. That's the magic of traveling. Like I told you yesterday, there are no coincidences, only meetings. I could have gone out 5 minutes later and maybe I wouldn't have met him. I could have said, well, I'm not very hungry now, I'll go later, or I could have eaten before coming back. Anyway, you get what I mean. That's what's magical. And then it's also about knowing how to say yes when you travel, knowing how to say yes, saying, okay, yeah, I'd love to. Come on, let's go for a walk. Okay, show me your city. That's great and everything. So nice. I don't even know what to say. And well, Yeosu is the beautiful little surprise of this trip. As usual, I wasn't expecting anything at all. So I quickly picked out a few cities to visit, but it's been a lovely surprise. I really liked it. Sure, today it rained, so we didn't really explore that much, but we have tomorrow. So stay tuned because tomorrow I think it's going to be a great day. I checked the weather, it shouldn't rain, it might be cloudy, but it shouldn't rain, so we might be able to do quite a lot of things. Thank you for watching this episode, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to let me know in the comments. Feel free to interact with me anytime and respond to all the questions I asked you today. Wandering around was still a great little adventure. Looking forward to tomorrow. So, as usual, take good care of yourselves, don't forget to travel, and never forget one thing. Well, if it rains, take your poncho, okay? Even though I know that here in Korea they lend umbrellas and so on, there's no problem. A little poncho when traveling is not bad, it's practical, it's light. There you go. I should have taken mine earlier, I was silly. I saw a little drizzle, I thought it's fine, it'll be okay, but no, haha, it started to really rain hard. So, never forget that when nothing is planned, anything, absolutely anything can happen. Thank you very much, see you tomorrow, bye.
Ciao.